We all know them, we're all impartial to their existence. But what is a flag really? It's like this little rectangular piece of like cloth, it's like shapes and colours and stuff. If you don't know what a flag is, why'd you click on this video? The point is, flags are everywhere. They're the symbol of a nation's identity. They're all patriotic and lovingly crafted. That's a joke, by the way. Here's an example of a flag. Some of you geography buffs might recognize that as the Mali flag. Well, you'd be wrong. Because you're an idiot. That's actually the Guinea flag. Oh, what's the difference, you ask? Like the red stripe, it's supposed to be on the other side. You didn't even try, what the frick? They're not even the only ones to do it, if I'm honest. It seems like everyone's just copying each other. We end up with things like this. It's like with the Netherlands, Paraguay, Belgium, Germany, Italy and Hungary. I love this one, because you can clearly tell one of them stole from the other one. But actually, let's see which one did it first. Okay, the Italian flag adopted 18th of June, 1946. But the Hungarian flag was adopted in the 23rd of May, 1957. Wow. I love this line of thinking because it's like, if we just reverse it, it was a slightly different shade of green, they won't notice. Alright, so we've basically deduced that most of the flags are terrible. There's about 190 something flags, and today I'm going to do what no man has ever had the courage to do. And that's rank all 190 something flags, put them in a tier list. And I also do need to specify that this is just my opinion, and therefore 100% objective. I am right and you are wrong. If you disagree with me on anything relating to this video or otherwise, you are just wrong. For all that boring schmuck out of the way, it's time to start ranking some flags. Let's jump right in. Wow, what a transition. So this is the tier list we will be using for today's video. Now if you don't know what a tier list is, again, I don't know why you clicked on this video. But, to put it simply, we're just going to be ranking all the flags in lettered tiers. S at the top being really good, F at the bottom being really bad. Spoiler, by the way, S tier isn't going to get a lot of use today. Well, that's it, really. Let's start with the first row of flags. So if you know anything about flags, you might know that a lot of them are just 3 stripes on a rectangle. Now how many, you ask? What, like 20, 30, 40, 50? No. This many. That's about 96 flags. Half of the world's flags, a little more than 3 stripes on a rectangle. You'd think at a certain point someone would say, oh, it's already been done. I'll go with like a hexagon instead. 3 hexagons. No, it's just 3 stripes. Now, I hear you saying, what about India, Mexico, Mongolia? They've got more going than just 3 stripes. And yes, you are technically true. But also, never interrupt me again. And honestly, is this really any better? I don't think it is. Honestly, just because you put a grapefruit in your flag, that doesn't automatically make it better. Or whatever it is. The Ashoka Chakra, a 24-spoke wheel in navy blue at its center. No, it's not. It's a grapefruit. Stop lying to me. You know, my main problem with all of this is just it's all the same. Like, if it was only 3 or 4 countries doing this, I'd be kind of okay with it. But, you know, it's just half of the world's countries decided that this was a good idea. Easier. Just go. That's it. We're done. Alright, so I realize that has been a little bit depressing. So let's move on with the next tier. Now you're probably thinking this is where we move on to the better flags. They're not technically wrong, but they're still not that great. Here we are. Yeah, they all are, yeah. Yeah, the more that you look at it, the more it blends into one thing. I mean, it's better than what we had previously, but as an example, Japan. So it's like, you know, I kind of see it. It's the land of the rising sun, yeah, you know, you've got the little sun in a empty white void. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. And even now we've got copycats, like Palau and Bangladesh. Apparently that was such a great idea that they just copied it. I mean, just my problem with this is just nothing stands out to me. Like, I look at it and I feel nothing more than usual. I mean, it's not all terrible. Like, you know, you've got a couple more standout ones, like Kyrgyzstan. That's pretty good. It's kind of got the rising sun kind of thing. Kind of like Japan, but better. You know, there's Montenegro. That's pretty cool. I like it. You got like goldish red. It's nice use of colours. New Guinea, Papua New Guinea. I think that's probably my favourite out of all of these. You got like this four-winged phoenix or something, and you got some stars and like triangles, which is a nice change. I like that. But nothing particularly stands out to me, if I'm honest. Actually, the more I look at this list, the more I see countries doing rising sun better than Japan. So now things are getting a little bit more positive. We're feeling a little bit better. Things look a little bit brighter. But following the advice of Nero, I'm going to crush positivity where it stands. I'm going to move on to a flag that is very not so good. Here it is. Hate it. I know a lot of you are getting angry about this, but again, I don't care. It's just red. It's too much red. Okay, I get it, you've got the hammer and the sickle, the star, but it's just too much red. I mean, look at some of the original ones they had, like in December 1922. It's got this nice looking flag, it's got like a globe, a hammer and sickle wheat, which seems a little bit presumptuous. You know, they've got the original one. It's a little much, but honestly, it's a really good idea. Like, you know, you strip it down a little bit, maybe put like, I don't know, some more gold stripes or something. You can do something with this. I like it. And then the next one they have, it's more dulled down. It's not great, but you know, there's still a little bit of detail, a little bit of that gold kind of emblem. It looks good, but then they just decided to just dump it and do less and less. I feel like at a certain point in history, we just decided that less is more. And it sometimes is, but we just decided everything needs to be just less and less and less, to the point where it barely resembles what it was at the start. Yeah, it's not for me. I don't like it. I don't like how little there is. That you could have done a lot better. FDR.
Наши старшие братья этим политикой там занимались.
Okay, so in a similar vein, talking about another country's flag, this might be a little bit controversial, but China.
Stop, you violated the law. You may pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
Okay, so it has been a while since the original recording. Originally had planned to do a bit talking about the design of the Chinese flag, you know, my thoughts towards it. But apparently I can't do that. So from what I can tell, I can't discuss this flag in a critical manner or use it for commercial use. If I'm wrong about this, please let me know, but that's just what I can tell from the Wikimedia page. As far as I'm aware, this is the only country that has those laws. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of it. I think it's kind of weird, but you know, what am I gonna do about it? So instead of putting it in the tier of previously, I'm instead going to put it in the I could have been sued or suffered jail time for discussing the artistic qualities of a rectangle tier. Okay, now with all that icky stuff out of the way, it's time to move on to the C tier. Now there's a couple of things here I'm actually pretty okay with. There's the South Sudan flag at the bottom. I thought it wasn't quite as good as some of the other entries, but it's certainly better than the Sudan flag. It's like the cooler version of the Sudan flag. Looks like they tried a little bit more there. They got Saudi Arabia as well. I think that's pretty good. It's got like writing in a sword. I don't know why I feel the need to like specify what's on the flag. It's like you have eyes. South African flag. I'm a little bit biased myself, but you know, I think it's a pretty good flag. Another pretty okay flag is the Mozambique flag. I think this is pretty cool. It's got a gun in it, so that's a plus. Now I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh well, why did you rank the Norway flag and Iceland and Finland all together in E tier, but you're ranking these three up here even though they look so similar? You see, my main problem with those three flags is that they're all the same. There's nothing going on. You think just because you put the Nordic cross in it, it's suddenly cool. Guess what? It's already been done. You didn't even try. And the other thing is, I honestly don't care. I was kind of like tired and bored when I created that list, so it doesn't quite make sense. I probably shouldn't be saying that. There's a couple others like the Liberian and Malaysian flag. They're fine. The Kiribati flag, I do like this one. Once again, doing Land of the Rising Sun better than Japan. You really messed up. You know, we got the Canadian flag, the Israeli flag, Kenya flag, Sri Lanka, South Korea, Mongolia. We've got a couple of those in there. I think they're quite nice. You know, they're not the best, and I know you're probably thinking that they look kind of samey towards the other ones. I think the main thing that sets a lot of these other flags apart, they just look a little bit different. You know, they just look different. Like the Sri Lanka flag, that looks really good. The Albanian flag is at the top. It looks really cool. You know, we got the Canadian flag, the Canadian flag, Yeah, hi, me again. So, as it turns out, Canada also has more strict rules when it comes to the usage of their flag commercially. So, if you want to get permission to use the flag, you have to specifically go to the Department of Canadian Heritage, or, as it's known in French, the Ministère du Patrimoine Canadien.
Ministère du Patrimoine Canadien.
So I contacted them and I was informed that if I wanted to use the flag, I needed to make sure it was specifically twice as long as it's wide, with a 11-point maple leaf in the middle, backed by red and white stripes, which became the national colours of Canada by a proclamation of King George V in 1921. So I can't actually put it in tier maker with all the other flags because it condenses it down. So I'm putting it in its own separate C tier, all the way here. And I'm not going to say anything else about it because at this point I'm too afraid. Also, as it turns out, King George V isn't responsible for Canada's national colours. I know no one cares, but I thought I should mention it anyway. Yeah, that's it. Okay, thank you, bye. Okay, on to B tier, and we're starting off with Great Britain. I kind of like it. actually. It's got this nice combination of not too much, but not too little. You know, it's got that symbolism. You got Scotland, England, you know, Scottish flag, terrible. The English flag, terrible. But if you mash them together, it makes a subpar flag, which by these standards is really good. You know, it has very good symbolism. Got the Scottish and the English flags together, just those two. Only two countries in Britain, just those two. No one else. And trailing right behind that, we've got the Australian flag and the New Zealand flag. You know, I'm a little bit biased myself, being an Aussie, but I think this is pretty good. For the New Zealand flag as well, does kind of look like you just stole from us. But since you let us have Lamingtons and Pavlova, I'll let it slide, but just this one's okay. Alright, just get behind that. I'm just doing this. If I had my way, you would be F tier. I'm just doing this to look good, alright? Behind that as well, I'm working out backwards here, we've got the Cyprus flag. This is kind of an odd one, but I like it. I think it's practical. You know, if you're ever in Cyprus and for some reason you get like a brain hemorrhage and you forget where you are, just look at the flag and you can tell, oh, I'm in that place. It's convenient. It's very useful. I like it. And lastly, there's Tuvalu and Fiji. I feel a little bit obliged to put them here, but honestly, they are quite good flags. And it's a little harsh putting them in the bottom, but you know, I just don't care. And that's it. I suppose we'll just move on because we've got nothing left for the B tier. Wrong, idiot! We've actually got one more, you dumb simpleton. This is why your parents don't love you. No, it's not true. The US flag. I think it's pretty good. It's got the 51 stars and the 13 stripes. I like the 51 for the states and the 13 stripes for, is it like the original colonies or something? I don't freaking care. But I think it's alright. So I'm going to place this flag not in B tier, but actually in B- tier for the grade that Robert Heft got for designing this variation of flag. Yep. It's a bit sad and, you know, lonely, this galactic void. But I've got to do something with my galactic void, and I thought this was a good place to store it. Okay, we've got a special one here for you now. All the way in A tier. Nepal. It's not just a rectangle. This is great. I love this. It's like two triangle thingies and some other stuff. But it's not just a rectangle. What I don't understand is, if Nepal can do this, why doesn't anybody else? Okay, so apparently in the Indian subcontinent, all flags used to be triangular, and Nepal simply retained the ancient tradition. What? So you're telling me all this time people have had the option to do different things, but just decided that a rectangle was all they were going to do? That's it. So you're telling me you could have just had like a hexagon as your flag, but no one decided to do it. That's just insane to me, dude. Like, you'd think that somewhere there'd be like some tiny country that would say like, you know what, I'm gonna have like a triangle and like a cube and a square and a cylinder mashed together in some sort of horrible orgy of a flag. But no one decided to do it. It's just rectangles. This is just disappointing, if I'm honest. I don't really know what else to say here. A tier, I guess. It's a good flag. And that's it. That's all the flags got. So I suppose this is the end of the video. Is what you'd think if you were an idiot. Wrong, actually. Bhutan. But yeah, there's a dragon, this flag. And that's like the sole reason why I put it there. It's good. I don't know. I kind of feel like Nepal deserves it more, but I kind of like looking at it. You know, it's like that's an interesting flag. Good on you, Bhutan. Everybody give them a round of applause. They made okay flag. I really hope they're not all filled with compulsive orphan murderers. Okay, taking a very brief look at that Wikipedia page, looks like we're clear on the orphan murdering. Probably still did happen though. This is a country. It's kind of par for the course when it comes to countries, you know. Yep, Bhutan's at the top. And that's the ranking. Just going like that. Look, I get a lot of you would probably be angry about these rankings. I know you're probably thinking, but the North Macedonian flag should be at the top because it's going to be very important symbolism. I don't care. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because they're all terrible. Every one of these doesn't matter. They're all bad. The reason why practically no one has ever bothered to do this because it doesn't matter. I'm not saying that world leaders need to jump on to graphic design courses and start ripping out some epic flags. At the end of the day, this really doesn't matter, but I thought I'd do it anyway because I don't have a life. So yeah, that's it. That's really it. I don't really have an outro planned. I didn't plan a lot of things, as you can probably tell from the quality of the script for this video. So I'm just going to end it abruptly.